Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about Palantir Technologies PLTR stock and Palantir's earnings report results. This will be a shorter video because we are discussing Palantir's revenue and earnings per share estimates so we can compare them to what Palantir actually brought in for the quarter. We will also discuss how many contracts they closed, if PLTR is still on track to be a $100 stock, and how their government and commercial revenues are set to continue to scale. Go and press the like button right now for more PLTR stock news updates. Comment down below your thoughts about PLTR dropping in price after their earnings beat. Turn on all subscription notifications to stay informed, and now let's get right into today's stories. First off, I want to say that it makes sense why Palantir is dropping in price right now because the whole market is pulling back due to uncertainty. Right now, the indices such as the S&P 500, Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones are all down. This uncertainty comes from the potential of the change of management inside of the Federal Reserve, but like I mentioned in my last video, even if Palantir beat expectations on their earnings report, which they did, this does not guarantee that the stock will rally. Currently, the PLTR stock price has fallen around 8.2% to $24.55 due to this market pullback. However, on the bright side, analysts projected that their adjusted earnings per share would be 4 cents, which matched their EPS on their earnings report. But the best part is that Palantir was supposed to bring in $385 million of revenue, according to analysts, but instead Palantir beat that prediction by bringing in $392 million, which is fantastic news. Despite this amazing news, some investors still decide to be pessimistic because even though Palantir increased their government revenue by 34% to $218 million, it did not meet estimates, which were $235.8 million. However, I think this difference is more than made up for by Palantir's commercial revenue growth, which increased their total commercial revenues for the quarter to $174 million, which beat estimates by over $20 million. Palantir also gained 34 new clients during the third quarter for a total client base of around 203 customers, which beat estimates of 180 clients. In addition to that, Palantir holds a strong relative strength rating of 83 out of 99, which means that the PLTR stock has outperformed 83% of all other stocks in terms of stock price performance over the last 52 weeks. So anything above a relative strength rating of 80 is really good. On screen now, we have the major highlights of Palantir's Q3 earnings report. We see how their commercial customer base has grown over 46% quarter over quarter, their commercial revenue grew over 103% year over year, and they got $101 million of cash flow from operations. However, with that being said, they are still at a GAAP net loss per share of 5 cents. Putting together the results from Q1 to Q3, Palantir has grown their revenues by 44% year over year. They have increased their commercial customer base by 135%, which is very exciting, and they have adjusted free cash flows of $320 million. On screen, we can also see their financial summary of their Q3 report, so you can double check the numbers that I am reporting to you. I also want to highlight how Palantir is exceeding expectations because their revenues grew by 36% this quarter instead of the estimated 30%. But now let's look to Palantir's Q4 earnings report to see what we should expect. Palantir's revenue projection for their Q4 report has increased to $418 million with an adjusted operating margin of 22%. This would mean that Palantir would have experienced around a 40% total revenue growth rate over the entire year, which will rake in total revenues at $1.527 billion. It is also predicted that their free cash flows will be over $400 million, which is absolutely amazing, and it puts Palantir on a course to achieving over a 30% CAGR from now until 2025 in terms of their revenue growth, which could put us one step closer to a PLTR stock price of over $100. I also mentioned in my last PLTR stock video that when the PLTR stock price falls after earnings, it could be a great buying opportunity for long-term investors as long as they are not already too overexposed to this stock already, because some investors try to average down their cost basis for a single stock and it ends up overexposing them to more risk because that stock now makes up too much of their portfolio, which is bad risk management. But what do you think about Palantir Technologies and the recent earnings report? Comment your thoughts down below, like this video right now, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.